What would Winston Churchill think about this guy? Now, Churchill made some mistakes in his time, God knows, but he was there in the crucible when it counted. And I think many people are hoping for another Winston Churchill or an FDR, hoping for a hero. But it's up to us Americans to be that hero. Doesn't matter who you voted for, that's all behind us. This is our fault and we need to fix it. We need to vote in numbers large enough to make ice melt. We need to vote with our hearts for this country, this place we call home. Still, this sort of thing keeps popping up throughout history. Alexander, Caesar, Genghis Khan, Napoleon. We need to know the reasons why. For some, it's obvious power. But for others, the followers, what's the appeal? Is it simply to make the trains run on time, as Mussolini promised? Or is it to conquer and then eliminate anyone who is different, as Hitler did? Life is tough, and some people want other people to make it right, to put order in their lives. In fact, there is a psychological theory that some people who are drawn to uniforms are susceptible to fascism because of the fetishizing of order. All those leather belts and epaulets, everything ship-shape and in Bristol fashion. Younger generations have heard of World War II, of course. The movies have seen to that. John Wayne fighting the Japs, John Wayne fighting the Krauts, John Wayne fighting whomever he pleases. It's all very gung-ho and rah-rah and go get 'em. And yet, it's those same rally around the flag boys that voted for this guy. Did they suddenly forget what their fathers and grandfathers fought for? Like I said, we need a hero, and that hero is us. So, as we often do, let's look to the movies for an example. This time, and right on time, it's Humphrey Bogart in Passage to Marseille. Now I know I could have picked Casablanca, of course, and thanks to Warner Brothers, both movies take a stand against tyranny. But I thought I'd give Rick Blaine a night off and round up a different group of usual suspects. This time, convicts from Devil's Island, Frenchmen mostly, shipped off to French Guiana, France's notorious penal colony in South America. Some have earned their passage, after careers in crime, but others are victims of political prosecution for speaking out against fascism, as Humphrey Bogart's newspaper publisher does, and is later framed for murder. As for others in the cast, well, there's Peter Lorre, for instance. He's a crook and proud of it, a pickpocket virtuoso with the most delicate of fingers. This George Tobias, whom members of my generation remember from Bewitched. Here, he plays a convict named Petite, which is a joke on his large size. There's Vladimir Sokolov as Grand Pierre, a lifer who finances their escape when he believes that they are serious in their desire to defend their home country against the Nazis, despite what France has done to them. This movie is infamous for its flashback within a flashback within a flashback structure, but it's not hard to follow as director Michael Curtiz keeps things moving. Claude Rains, as the story's narrator, navigates us through this rather tricky course. Sidney Greenstreet only appears in the shipboard sequences, and thank God for that, because he plays a pompous martinet who tries to take over the ship with the aid of Hans Conried, whom we boomers remember from Fractured Flickers. Now, I won't bore you with every flashback and forth, only to say that the Devil's Island scenes, their escape, and their subsequent shipboard journey are the most engaging scenes in the movie. But it's this very same structure that short-circuits the romantic backstory between Bogart and Michelle Morgan. All of this is beautifully lit by the great cinematographer James Wong Howe, and the detailing of the prisoner's solitary confinement cells matches up with what we later see in 1974's Papillon. But that's a tale for another time. For now, it's enough to know that when the chips were down, there were some corporate powers, like Warner Brothers, that took a stand against tyranny. See you on the barricades.